5 ways to protect your QA job from AI and offshoring. Why do we even need to worry about this? Well, many of the world's largest economies have seen stunted growth for the last few years, and shareholders still want profits. Companies that are struggling are looking to shed staffing costs, and the ones that aren't still want to maximize profits. This brings me to number 1 on this list. Understand the company you work for. Is your employer struggling? Are layoffs being announced? Has your employer brought in policies typically correlated with encouraging employees to look elsewhere? Things like pay rise freezes or reducing remote working. Understanding your company will give you a vital heads up and tell you if your company is interested in innovation. If you see innovation in other departments, then you know there's an appetite to increase efficiency. Suggest a way to increase output or decrease costs. Not only will this show your initiative, but if done right, it will nicely position you as the project's lead. Be the person who cares. I've been in many engineering meetings across many companies. The funny thing is, you see slightly different versions of the same people. There are the people who talk a good game, but have never seen one of their tickets reach the done column. There's the work culture hippie. But most annoyingly, there's the person disguising laziness as pragmatism, basically suggesting not doing something is the quickest and safest option. If you're lucky, there'll be a few people who genuinely care. And if you're watching this, this is you. But that doesn't mean others will see you this way. To be a person who cares, you must regularly speak up and champion quality. Rock solid regression. One day I'll do a whole video on the problems of in-sprint testing, but for now, let me just say I'm aware of the stresses and struggles many exploratory and automation testers face as you get closer to the end of sprint. On the one hand, you give items the time they need, but now you're the QA bottleneck. On the other hand, you keep the tickets flowing, but quality may suffer. Whether in automation or exploratory testing, an automated CI/CD regression pack is your best friend. If it fails, great, you can push the ticket back and focus on other things. If it passes, great. You now know nothing old is broken and you can get on with testing the new stuff. Share your reports. This is such a simple but almost entirely overlooked area. What is the output of a developer? Well, you can look at the tickets and see what they developed. What's the output of QA? Better quality? It's not something you can see. In fact, I'd argue you can't see quality. You can only notice the lack of it. In the same way you wouldn't think of a table in a showroom as clean, but you would notice if it was dirty. It's the same in software engineering. People are far more aware of the defects that slip through the net than ever think you caught. Get in the habit of sharing your reports. Again, this doesn't matter if you're exploratory or automation. Share something. Your reports should be available to everyone at all times, but you should give a written and verbal summary once a sprint. Keep it short, but remind people what QA is doing and remind the company what they'll be exposed to without you. Stop holding yourself back. AI, offshoring, and other tools are just ways to give companies what they want. Staff are expensive and companies would like to magically get all the benefits of the staff, plus a bunch of new ones, and they'd really like it for less. You might have your own goals. Maybe you're on a journey to becoming a developer. Maybe you like the current ways of working and pace. These are fine. But this means your goals don't align with your employers. If they want faster, better, cheaper, give it to them. It'll be much better if you're in the discussions. Investigate AI tools. Maybe they'll work for you, perhaps they won't, but you can provide a write-up on the pros and cons. What about codeless tooling like Does QA? With a proven track record of empowering good testers to do so much more while reducing costs? Okay, that's the plug over. In conclusion, we hate hearing that QA teams have been offshored. But it all starts to make sense when we find out why. The company wanted to save money and saw no innovation in the QA team for years. The QA staff already felt distant from the rest of the engineering team and were a bottleneck each sprint. There was nothing tangible proving the QA team's value, and magic AI tool or offshore sounded like a silver bullet.